Well, hello and welcome to 90 Days of Affirmations with Lucille. Today is day 49 of Affirmations with me, and I am going to have 3 affirmations for you. The first is, as always, is going to be our weekly anchor affirmation, and today is the last day of our week's affirmation, which is number 1, I embody grace, dignity, and unapologetic confidence. Number 2, for today is I am inspirational. And number 3 is I act even when I don't feel like it. And so today, since this is the last day for this anchor affirmation, what I really like to think about is how I've actually embodied grace, dignity, and unapologetic confidence. And for me, when I think about how I embody grace, the first thing that comes to mind is how I extend grace to others. So for example, we have been working on such a tight deadline because of our accounting month-end close, the end of the fiscal year, and things need to be done by a certain time, right? And I have found that things don't always go the way planned, right? And you might run into a situation where you're faced with a deadline, but you're waiting on someone else. And instead of seeming frustrated or being annoyed that things aren't done by a certain time, I have a smile and I embody the grace allowed for this person or my colleagues to finish the things that they need to, right, in the time that they feel confident. Because the last thing I want to do is to rush someone, but I also don't want to get, rushed over work, and that's something that has more errors, right? And so without even thinking about it, I'm gracious, I'm very patient. And to me, it really reflects because I always get, they'll always say, I'm so sorry. They're very apologetic about it, even when they don't need to be. And it just feels like we are able to still remain and work together as a team towards that deadline. So, yeah. When I think about dignity, I think about the level of respect that others will have for themselves just as a human being, and think about how I handle myself with respect, right? And that I will always maintain my dignity, yeah. And then when I think about unapologetic confidence, just really showing up as my full self, I've been doing that a lot more, and I'm realizing that it's needed, right? I really need to stop trying to put on a mask or a face, or as what a lot of people do in the Black culture, where they will code switch, if you will. And I'm finding that I don't need to. I can bring my full self wherever I go, and it's needed and it's wanted. And I haven't been thinking twice about it. And so that's how I've been embodying grace, dignity, and unapologetic confidence this week. How have you been doing that? What are some of the things that you might have done this week differently now that you've embodied this affirmation? Let me know in the comments. I love to hear. Now, the second affirmation for today, if you're following me every day, you'll know that I've missed a couple days. And I'm like, oh man, what is going on? And my husband called me out on it, and I'm thankful for him for doing that, because he was like, hey, did you post your affirmation yesterday or the day before? And I was like, nope. And you know what excuse I had the nerve to give him was that I didn't have any inspiration. And I wrote this affirmation because, you know what? I need to change my perspective, do a reframe, and remember that I am inspirational. And so are you, right? And so we have to remember that even when you're working on something and you might be helping yourself, unbeknownst to you, you are probably helping other people too. And so that's important. And that's why I'm sharing this, because I think these affirmations are helping reform my perspective on a lot of things. It's helping me build my confidence and helping me change the language of how I speak to myself, right? And so this is also leading me to my last affirmation for today, which is I act even when I don't feel like it. So It's going to be my Bible-based affirmation for today. It's coming from Philippians chapter 2, verses 12 through 15, and it reads, "Therefore, my dear friends, as you have always obeyed, not only in my presence, but now much more in my absence, continue to work out your salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who works in you to will and to act according to his good purpose. Do everything without complaining or arguing, so that you may become the blameless and pure children of God without fault in a crooked and depraved generation in which you shine like stars in the universe." And so I want to shine like a star in the universe, right? And I know I need to stop complaining. And God gives me the will to act and to do these things, right? It's not through my own motivation, because you and I both know the motivation falters. You won't have motivation all the time. And your emotions will be, could be up or could be down. That should not dictate what you do on a day-to-day basis to meet your goal or to reach that mark that God has set in your heart. And so I wrote this affirmation today because I'm doing these affirmations. I'm going to make it to 90 days and I'm going to be consistent, right? And so I wanted this to be a reminder that I act even when I don't feel like it. So let's go through those 3 really quickly. And I want you to repeat after me. I embody grace, dignity, and unapologetic confidence. Number 2, I am inspirational. Yes, you are. And number 3, I act even when I don't feel like it. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that these affirmations have been a blessing for you as they have been for me. And with that, I'll take my leave. Y'all be blessed.